Hi everyone, this is Olya. Today, we're testing whether it's possible to make a srnik or a healthy cheesecake completely without sugar, sweeteners, flour or oil. I'm making this for the first time and I'll walk you through everything exactly as it happens. You'll find the source link and all the ingredient proportions in the video description. Let's start by making the applesauce. For it, we'll need 900 grams of apples, about 7 apples. Here's the size of the apples I'm using. They're slightly bigger than medium. Peel the apples. Sweet apples work best for this recipe, but of course you can use ones you don't feel like eating on their own. Cut the peeled apples into quarters. Remove the core and seeds, then chop into medium pieces. By the time we finished peeling and cutting all the apples, they darkened a bit. That's totally fine. By weight, that came to about 650 grams of peeled apples. Put the apples into a deep skillet or pot. Then add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, which is 10 milliliters, and 1 tablespoon of water, which is 15 milliliters. Stir. If the apples are dry, you can add 2 to 3 more tablespoons of water. We add water so the apples don't burn early on, and lemon juice so the puree doesn't darken. Simmer the apples over medium or even slightly below medium heat, stirring occasionally until they're soft. This takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Then transfer the apples to a deep bowl and blend with an immersion blender until you get a smooth, even puree with no lumps. The puree is thick, delicious and sweet, even though my apples had a bit of tartness. By weight, you should get 500 to 550 grams of applesauce. Next, add 450 grams of farmer's cheese or tvrog to it. Any fat content works. The main thing is that it shouldn't be dry or rubbery. I'm using homemade tvrog. Next, add 300 grams of Greek yogurt, a thick plain yogurt with no additives. Alternatively, you can use the same amount of sour cream, any fat content. Then crack in 3 medium or large eggs. Add 70 grams of cornstarch or 50 grams of potato starch since it's stronger. You'll find all the proportions, not just in grams, but also in cups and spoons, in the video description. For a nice aroma, add a pinch of vanillin. Blend everything with an immersion blender until smooth and even with no lumps. I reduced the amount of starch slightly compared to the original source to make the dessert more tender. Instead of starch, you can add 70 grams of ground oat flakes or ready-made oat flour or the same amount of rice flour. If you're limiting carbs, you can likewise add 70 grams of almond or coconut flour. You can also use 80 grams of semolina or wheat flour instead of starch. If using semolina, mix it in and let it swell for 20 minutes. In general, everyone decides for themselves what to add to make it tasty and healthy. The finished batter isn't thick. If you like, fold in 2 apples cut into pieces, peel them, cut into quarters, remove the core and seeds, then chop into medium pieces. You can substitute other berries or fruits of your choice for the apples. Add the apples to the batter and mix. Next, you'll need a 20 to 21 centimeter springform pan. To prevent any leaking, line it with a single whole sheet of parchment paper. To do this, first crumple the parchment, then line the pan. This way it won't tear. Instead of a springform pan, you can use a regular rectangular or square one. The dessert also doesn't need to be tall. Whatever volume it takes up in the pan is how it will stay once cooled. Smooth the surface with a spatula or spoon, and if you like, sprinkle sliced almonds on top. I also trim the parchment. It's just more convenient for me that way. Bake the tvrog cheesecake in a preheated oven at 170 degrees Celsius, 340 degrees Fahrenheit for about 1 hour. The finished dessert will jiggle slightly in the center. Let it cool to room temperature right in the pan. You can cut it while it's still warm, but it holds its shape less well that way and looks more like a cottage cheese casserole. After a night in the refrigerator, remove the pan and parchment. This cheesecake can also just be chilled for a few hours in the fridge. That's enough too. So friends, in the end, you get a very appetizing sugar-free cheesecake, 20 centimeters in diameter. Let's cut a slice. What matters is that the cheesecake holds its shape and has a creamy texture. The flavor is delicate and closely resembles an actual cheesecake. The dessert turned out moderately sweet, and the apple pieces have a slight crunch. Honestly, it's really delicious. If anyone finds it not sweet enough, you can drizzle a slice with syrup, jam, or crushed currants with sugar, like I did. If you ask me whether you can taste the applesauce in the dessert, honestly, I don't really notice it. It's hard to tell that puree is the main ingredient. The apples definitely give the cheesecake a more fruity flavor, but the tvarog note still dominates. So overall, this turns out to be an unusual, sugar-free cheesecake that's genuinely tasty. If you have dietary restrictions, it's definitely worth making. Some people will like this cheesecake, some won't. That's a matter of taste. You can decide for yourself whether to give it a try. As always, please support my video with a like and subscribe. I'm looking forward to your comments. I wish everyone peaceful skies. Until next time, my dears, bye.